Hey guys, welcome back to another cooking episode. With the hurricane coming in here this week, actually today is Wednesday, the hurricane is making landfall. And we have a little bit of dark, wet weather here and some winds all the way on the other side of the state. And usually when I have bad weather and I kind of want to hunker down, I make chili, and this is the common red chili recipe. This isn't the chicken green chili or something like that. So let me get the camera turned around and get things set up, and we'll go through the recipe. We'll see you in a bit. Alright, starting off, this is kind of my from scratch recipe. I do use canned beans and canned tomatoes, but everything else is just fresh onion, fresh cilantro. So basically what I'll use about half of one of these chicken broth or chicken stock. That's about 2 cups. Some hot sauce, salt and pepper, some garlic, some a yellow onion, a small yellow onion chopped, a bunch of cilantro minced, some olive oil, and what I do is a packet of taco seasoning, and I add 1 tablespoon of chili powder and 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, a large can of crushed tomatoes, a small can of tomato paste, 2 cans of dark kidney beans, do not drain them, and about 1 pound of ground beef. So we start off, I warmed up the French oven over medium-high heat, and I'll go ahead and drop it down to medium heat. And what I'll do is I'll put about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of oil in the pan. A little bit more than that. It's almost 2 tablespoons. That's perfectly fine. You'll need the oil. Let me adjust the camera here so you can actually see the pot. Alright. There we go. So let the oil come up to temperature. Go ahead and sweat the onions and the garlic. Alright, before my stroke, I used to use fresh sea salt in a grinder, which I do not have a grinder anymore. Let me actually use the sea salt. I'll put a little bit in there, not much at all. And there's some pepper in there. Again, used to use the grinder, but now I can only use one hand real well. So I just use pre-ground black pepper. About a teaspoon. Go ahead and mix that up and get going. You want to get to almost caramelization, kind of translucent to caramelized almost. You can see they're already starting to turn brown a bit. So let it get to where I want it within the caramelization, and we'll be right back. So we're back, and my onions and garlic are about to the brownness that I want them. I don't want them too brown. I want them just a little bit still white, but they have sweated enough at this point. I'll go ahead and throw the ground beef in there. There we go. I'm going to throw this away. I'll be right back. Alright, so with chili, you want to get the ground beef to break down. Instead of being lumpy, you kind of want it to be a little bit more grainy, so you want to break this part as much as you can. As it browns, it tends to break itself apart. Just spread it out across the bottom, let it cook for a few moments. And then in a few moments, we're going to start mixing it in with the onions and garlic. As you see, I'm still chopping at it. Now, the one thing about this, you want to kind of get a little bit of lean ground beef, because you don't want to have to drain it at the end. You still want to keep a little bit of drippings in there. It kind of adds to the flavor a bit. But once we get to that point, we will start adding the other ingredients once it gets to its brown point. So let's let it get there. I'll go ahead and cover it and let it brown up a bit. And then we'll start adding the other ingredients. Alright, so we'll see you in a moment. Alright, so we're at that point of brownness now that we want. I'll go ahead and drop the temperature to medium low. And while it's starting to simmer down a bit, we'll go ahead and put the tomato paste in here. One of the hardest things to get out of a can. Alright, so at this point, just to get the tomato paste off of your spoon, I usually just kind of mix it in. And a little bit left over, but not enough. Next thing, you add your crushed tomato. Try to get as much of it out as you can. Go ahead and throw your seasoning in. And right here is where you just go ahead and stir all that in. Let it simmer for a bit. Now, chili is supposed to not have beans in it. It's just supposed to be meat. And at this point is where you would stop. But I do like beans in mine, and I do like a few other things. We will let this simmer for a moment and marinate. I say about 15 minutes, and I'll be back to put the beans in and the rest of the ingredients. We'll see you in a moment. So what you have here is what we call a French oven. I've explained this before in another video. When I use it, these are really good for making soups, stews, chilies, anything like that. Basically what it is, it's a cast iron Dutch oven that's been lined with porcelain. So it's easier to clean, and you can definitely use soap on these because with cast iron you can't use soap. So when you wash these, definitely you can use soap. And like I said, they're really good once you've gotten them seasoned and used quite often. They're really good for making soups. I don't know why, the more use out of them, the better, but it tends to work out. So this has been in for 15 minutes now. What I'm going to do is I'll take the dark navy beans, the dark kidney beans, go ahead and pour them in. And like I said, you keep the stock with them. Two cans. Go ahead and stir those in. Now the next is optional. I'll do this because if you cook this for a few hours, the beans will break down and starch the chili and make it really thick. If you like it thick, that's fine. But usually what I'll do is I'll take chicken broth or chicken stock. I'll go ahead and pre-thin it out. Again, being optional, you can use as much as you want. I usually use about half. That feels about right. And you go ahead and refrigerate that later on. And go ahead and stir that in. Also at this point, before it starts boiling, you go and stir it in real quick first. We will go ahead and add the cilantro here. This kind of gives it a more Tex-Mex flavor. And another optional item will be the hot sauce. Add as much or as little, or just leave it out if you like. Kind of spice it up a little bit. From what I made is mild, but I do like a certain hot sauce, and this actually gives the chili good flavor. I go pretty generous with it. There we go. and then you go ahead and stir that in. Now, right now it's all together. I need to let it simmer for about 2 or 3 hours and come and stir every 15 minutes or so. Usually this goes good by itself, but usually what I do is I'll take a handful of corn chips like Fritos or something like that, crush them up, put them in the bottom of the bowl, serve this on top, and then throw about a half cup of shredded cheese on it and a good dollop of sour cream. And to me, that comes out real good. My daughter, she likes to add ranch to hers instead of sour cream. I've tried it, and amazingly, it's very good. But yeah, I mean, you can serve it with corn chips. You can serve it with cheddar and sour cream, or just like I said, plain like that. So let it simmer for a few hours and cover it up there. And we'll be back when I'm done. See you in a moment. So we're back. I go ahead and check on the progress right now. Oh yeah, you want definitely bubbling. This is about good right here. Go ahead and give it a good stir. It's still runny a bit. The beans have not broken down the starch yet. You want to wait till the beans do so. That's why you do this for about a couple of hours. You kind of want to cook it until, like I said, the beans break down and start thickening up the chili. It's definitely looking good. Oh yeah, it's got a good flavor. Now, at this point, you can add more salt, more spice to it. You can add cayenne pepper to it, or more hot sauce, or any type of heat that you really want to it. Even when you add the tomatoes, you can add the chili tomatoes. They usually have the crushed tomatoes mixed with the chili peppers, like the Hormel brand, or not Hormel, but Rotel brand. Cover that up, let it sit for a while longer. I'm still sitting at low, just above simmer. And again, if you want to add more salt or add more spice heat to this, right now is about a good time because you want it to cook into it. You don't want to add it at the end. So we'll be definitely back when I'm done cooking this and ready to serve it. At that point, probably about the last half hour, I will turn off the stove and let it cool. What I do is I will slightly cover it like so and just let the heat escape. So we'll be back in probably about an hour or so. See you in a bit. Alright, so this has been sitting for about a half hour. As you can see, I've already got a bowl filled up with corn chips. And let me grab a ladle because that spoon doesn't work as well. There we go. So it's definitely thickened up, not as watery as it was earlier. So I'll put quite a bit of chili on top of the chips. We'll say about that much there. Then we'll cover with cheese. I got 2 bags of cheese here. I'm just going to finish off one, then I'll add from the other. And of course, my fingers do not want to work to open the bag. Then we'll add from the other bag. Yeah, it's nowhere near enough cheese for this. Sorry, I hit my head on that. It's annoying. Just a little bit more. I definitely like my chili a little cheesier. That's good enough. And then lastly, we do the sour cream. About that much. That should be good enough. And there you go. Oh, I didn't realize I knocked the camera off. There's the final product. I'll take a picture of it and show it up close. But this is my red chili recipe. And again, I serve it with corn chips, cheese, like a Mexican mix or a cheddar or anything like that. And then some sour cream. Like I said, my daughter uses ranch. Again, I've tried it like that. It came out really good. You can add bell peppers to the recipe. You can add more hot sauce or cayenne pepper. Meat-wise, you can use stewed beef, you can use venison, you can use ground turkey. Again, I use ground beef, kind of lean. And again, this is my red recipe. I hope y'all enjoy it. Give it a shot. Let me know how it comes out. Till next time, we'll see you again. Enjoy.